Alright, today we're going to be talking about combo theory. This is very important because the way combos work in this game is a little confusing. It's always an intricate question in fighting games. Alright, so if you see my beginner's guide, you know that you can wall bounce, ground bounce, wall slump them, and then you just get regular hits for a regular combo, right? But how do they work? What are my limitations? Why is there a combo limit? I'm glad you asked. I'm here to explain it. So buckle up. Sit tight and let's get into it. So let's look at our buttons, right? What are our buttons? Okay, we have light, medium, and heavy. And we actually have data on top that will tell us the amount of hit stun the move has during the combo. Now, is it 100% working? I don't know. It is an alpha, of course. We're gonna find out. I'm gonna find out with you guys, but I'm gonna be here to explain if it's working properly or not. So that's a lucky thing to have. So as I said, there's strength levels to this. Let me move my mouse. Lights have the weakest amount of hit stun, right? They're a light attack. They're fast, but they're weak. Mediums, not too bad. A little bit more. Heavies, much better. And just to give you a visual representation, if I were to throw out a jab and try to go into this move, it won't combo. There's not enough hit stun. If I were to do a medium, it wouldn't combo. There's not enough hit stun. But if I do a heavy, they're stunned long enough. I hope this helps explain how it works. And here, I'll also jot this down. Harder hitting moves link into better combo routes. Just a quick way to explain it. Actually, one more thing I gotta explain before we get into this. Hit stun and hit stun deterioration. Just to give you a general idea before I talk about it in the video. The longer the combo, the less combo you can do. To explain in another way is the more hits you do in a combo, the faster they'll flip out unless you do a strong enough move that will keep them stunned long enough. Now let's get into it and break it down. One more thing to note is that hit stun is actually separate depending on if your opponent is grounded or in the air. If you land an air attack, you won't have as much hit stun to do longer combos. Trying to think of what I could do that's pretty long. Right, I did, you know, what, like 3 moves and that next one didn't work. But if I do something like this, oh, that's supposed to hit it with, but you get the point. Hitting an airborne opponent gives you less combo time to work with, or less hit stun, which is the technical term we use in the fighting game community. So you have to separate the two. You get a grounded hit, you can do a great combo. You get an air hit, the combo's much more limited. Another thing to note, and let's see if I can get this, is time is also a factor when it comes to making a combo in this game. So the longer it takes you to do a combo, the more likely the opponent has a chance to flip out. Let's see if I can land this combo. Editors, you may need to skip ahead to where I land this combo. Alright, so I got it. Now I'm going to do that exact same combo and take a little bit longer, and it should not work. I'm gonna need my editors to cut to the chase. Yeah, time was a factor there. Same combo, purposely took a little bit longer to do it, and they flipped out. So time is also a factor when it comes to this. Same combo, nothing changed except I took a little bit longer. Now let's move on. I taught you about the timing, length, all that stuff. So what you should have learned by now is that when structuring a combo, if you want to do something lengthier, you want to land your stronger hits first, like medium or a heavy if you can. But if you're going to get a guaranteed hit, then you're going to want to do light, right? Or you want to mash on your opponent or something like that. Light is your go-to. But when you, let's say, you block a level 3, right? You know, Echo does his level 3. I block it. I could dash up, medium, heavy, punish him. That's your time to go for your longer, better combo. Now, how do I make my combo longer and better? I'm glad you asked. There's a couple ways you can do this. We're going to talk about the types of comboable states, as I like to call them, you can have. One is you can have your opponent in a wall bounce, which always has that amount of hits. They will always bounce off the wall, fall to the ground. But remember, you only get one of these, because if you do it again, you'll get combo limit. Now, an interesting thing I learned is your ground bounces, your wall bounces, and your slump states all share the same comboable state. So that means you could only get one of these per character. So if I were to bring in Darius, he would have his wall bounce. And just to show you, I'll use his forward assist because, well, it's a wall bounce. Let me just be good and land this. Boom. Now, neither of us have our comboable states left, right? No ground bounces, no slump states. Here's what happens if you try to use another wall bounce or another big comboable state with guaranteed hit stun. You hit combo limit. The game is coded to do that, but they do give you a little wiggle room with having more than one character. So you could do a combo like, I don't know, let's just get to them. You've done a long combo, right? You do, you know, this is so hard as one person. Wall bounce, and then you can do, you know, jump to H, which is another guaranteed hit stun move that Yasuo has. This move will always connect into his S1. Each character has something similar, you just have to figure out what it is. So you have your comboable states, your bounces as I like to call them, all guaranteed hit stun. Then you have your own independent guaranteed hit stun moves. Yasuo is jump to H. Darius is his, we call this a DP or a dragon punch, but it is down S2. They will always fly for a certain amount of time, even at the most amount of hit stun. It's just the way it is coded. So you can always do DP into a super at the very end of his combos, as long as you can get into down S2. Yeah, I gotta do this again, right? Follow me on Twitch. You want to learn the game, putting out all these guides before the alpha ends. The guides will be updated with the next beta, with the official release of the game. I'll be doing advanced guides then because it makes more sense. Any questions in the comments, any questions, you can pull up to my stream, twitch.tv/cloud_805. I'm going to go super hard in this game. I've gotten first in a tournament already. I got third in another one with my boy Dylan. We grinding out here, and I hope you'll be there for the grind, because I'd love to grind with you. Anyways, back to the video. Just to give you a visual representation, this is what a ground bounce looks like, right? You literally bounce off the ground. That's all it is. So all I know is that Darius can do his ground bounce. Oh, that's too close. He can do a ground bounce, but he can also do a slump state. Here we go. You have to apply bleed to this, so what would it be? Let me apply bleed. There we go. Once the opponent is bled, you get the ability to go into the combo state. This is another interesting time to talk about how sometimes there's certain restrictions that you must meet to apply these comboable states. Darius has bleed to get this slump state. And, you know, this is kind of hard to tell that they're in slump state because if you look at them, they look like they're just waking up, right? If you've ever played a fighting game before, you're like, oh, they're just recovering. No, you could still be comboed. Like, look at this. Yeah, it's a little confusing. What I hope they do here to help have visual clarity is, I don't know, maybe some of the bruiser minions are flying around their head like they're dazed, they're confused or something. I think that'd be cool, comical, and you could have some stuff from League in here without, well, I mean, it's a League of Legends fighting game, so it would just make the most sense. I don't know, that's just me. I think it's a good idea. It'll help with visual clarity. Now, we've gone through the comboable states, time, all that stuff. Let's talk about scaled starters. What is a scaled starter? So there's certain individual moves in this game that have more hit stun than others, right? Or hit stun deterioration. One of the more popular ones is an overhead move. This move needs to be blocked standing. If you saw my beginner guide, you would understand that. Now, in this game, though, interestingly enough, overheads don't really scale that much like they do in other games. So you could typically do your regular combos if you land an overhead. But something that is heavily scaled are throws. So just look at this combo from Yasuo. A little finicky to get. This is about the most I could do because of how scaled this is. If I were to try to do something like this that I did earlier, they'll flip out immediately because the game's like, oh, you landed a throw This has fixed scaling to it. Your combo routes have to be this short. We don't want you to get too much off a throw. That's the principle behind it. You did an unblockable move where they have to react with their own throw. So if they don't, this is your reward. Things like that. And there's other things like back throws work a little different. You can't really get anything off of this. You could get one hit, a grounded hit, but these are designed for you to not really get anything too juicy off of it. It could change in the future. It is an alpha. Okay, now we have the basic understanding of comboable states, hit stun scaling. You know, how do we piece it together outside of the regular, you know, ABC into super, right? This is very common. ABC 1 2 3 into your special, into your super is the basic combo structure. When you get a little bit more advanced, you start throwing in a launcher, and then you throw in, you know, the stomp into super, things like that, right? Results may vary on your character. I don't really play Darius too much, but he doesn't seem too difficult. Something like that, right? Again, not a Darius player. I don't really know all his combos, but how do we get outside of the norm? How do we string things together? How do we go from ABC to AC special back to BC, right? It's going to be character to character dependent, and combo videos can help. But one way you can do it with Yasuo is getting an air juggle, right? When you do an air juggle, especially into something like Yasuo's wall bounce, it lets you branch out into other things. Once you use your guaranteed hit stun move, you're like, okay, I could kind of do whatever I want at this point. So I'm gonna show you a couple different combos that all stem from the wall bounce happening, right? This is one of the easier ones. You just dash in, launcher, boom, 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 right? Simple, easy enough, not too difficult. Then another one is you could do something like forward S1, dash into stance, do medium, jump, follow up. If you notice, all the enders are the same. This is Yasuo's ender in combos. You really can't do too much about it. And another way that you could use wall bounce to your advantage is to go into tag launcher. And you bring in your other character and see what you can do with them. You know, I believe Darius could charge H here. I could be wrong. Yeah, there you go. You charge H with Darius, you get his wall bounce, and then you could probably land in DP. I'm not 100% sure. Right? But finding ways to change your combo routes from your fixed hit stuns is another way to put it. Guaranteed hit stun, they both work, is a simple way to do it. Oh, I did this move that you're always gonna get hit by in the combo. That's always gonna make you float or whatever to me. Now I gotta figure out, do I do ABC? Do I do C into special back into B? You know, like Yasuo's stance loops, right? This always goes back into his stance. And you know, I could do other stuff, right? I don't have to always just do that. You could do something like, there we go. Okay, got it. You don't need a dash if you get the right dash in the beginning. Alright, so as you can see, a bunch of different ways to go into different routes. Just depends on your character. As you saw, I did one wall bounce. I did the slum state, right? They both let me do different things, different conversions off of it. So find out what works best for you. You don't have to do the same combo over and over. You can branch out, especially if you're not competing. Right, you're just playing pubs, casuals, whatever. You just want to go out there, have fun, do some sick shit. You don't always have to stick to the same. It always has to be the most optimal thing, right? Just do what looks cool to you. Now, I mentioned earlier of how Darius needs to have bleed to get his slump state. That is technically a special comboable state, but not really, because most characters can do it. So Echo and Braum have true special comboable states. Timewinder, freezing your opponent, is a character specific thing. Braum as well. Let me get unbreakable here, right? Braum can literally freeze the opponent. These are special comboable states that are specific to the character. I'm sure other characters will come out that can do the same or something similar, but right now it is exclusive to them. It is their own unique thing. I'm sure a character will come out, be able to shock you, maybe be able to slow you down where you're like 20% slower. So yes, there are such things as special comboable states restricted to characters. It's just a fighting game thing. It will always be a fighting game thing. Just get used to it. Learn what your character can do. And let me add this in here. It's funny. It's we call it a fireball, right? A projectile we call a fireball, but Braum shoots ice at you, so it's an ice ball. My dad interpretation of the day. So typically in fighting games, you might want to start with your strongest move. For example, Yasuo Wind Wall into S1 does a bunch of damage. Did you want that to be your combo starter? If you can get it, right? That's the whole big if, find an opportune moment. Instead of doing, you know, jab, right? You know, jab heavily scales the combo. Doesn't do as much. And that whole combo, I did less than this one move. Technically, too. So I hope this shows the importance of hit hard, do big damage. You know what? Let me write that down. Do big damage. A harder move you hit them with, more damage you'll get, right? That doesn't just apply to specials. It's also your lights, your mediums, and your heavies. All of these have different proration when it comes to a combo. It's hard-coded into the game. So I'm going to show you combos doing the same exact thing, but the starter changes. So here's this combo doing light 263. Here's the same combo starting with a medium, and then here's the same combo starting with the heavy. So as you can see, all the damage value changes, and you're probably wondering, why did the medium combo do more than the heavy combo? Well, you really don't see the full effects of that damage scaling in early combos. Now I'm gonna do a longer combo with medium and heavy, and you're gonna see that the heavy's just gonna do a little bit more because of the way damage scaling works and is interpreted. I already messed up. Don't get mad at me. So 494. I might have missed a hit, but that's fine. .502. Yeah, heavy did a little bit more, and if I start with heavy, I could squeeze in one extra medium there, I believe. No, it's too much. But yeah, the same combo, heavy did just a little bit more. Now, how much does this combo do with a light starter? Barely cracked 400, as opposed to the others where you're reaching 500 damage, right? 80 damage is a lot. So it's another thing to consider. So when you go for a punish, as I've said before, I sound like a broken record, but please use your better starter. Don't start with a jab. If you know you're gonna land a medium or a heavy, please land those moves. Way better damage. It's very important to remember this detail. It's very crucial. This could be the difference between keeping the opponent alive or winning the round, right? Quick recap. What have we learned? Clean hits on the ground give you more hit stun to work with than airborne hits. You want to start with your better starters, your mediums, your heavies, your strong special moves if you can. Those are going to give you the most damage. You have 3 different types of comboable states: ground bounces, wall bounces, and slump states, but you only get one of each per character. Tag launcher, I forgot to mention, is also fixed hit stun. It will always work as long as your character is available to come out, and you always get a heavy into a special of some sort, or I believe you get 1 guaranteed hit when you tag launcher. I believe that's the way it works and the way they coded it, because tag launcher would be useless if you didn't get 1 guaranteed hit into a type of special for a knockdown. And I believe most characters have that option. Time is a factor. Special comboable states like Time Winder and Braum's Unbreakable Fireball Ice Ball. There is one more thing that is super specific. It is the Fury Fuse. Okay, this is very specific to the Fury Fuse. So this is exclusive to the Fury Fuse. Now, if you remember, if you hold an S button when you wake up, you get this wake up, right? It's very risky for the most part, but if you have the Fury Fuse and you have low enough health, you can actually dash out of it. Now, I wouldn't really say this is a comboable state of any sort, but if your opponent blocks it, you can dash cancel it, and then you can start your pressure. So it's more so a little tip for you Fury users. Not a lot of people know this. Maybe they do. I'm not sure. It's cool to know. It's unique. It's not the strongest, but it adds a little bit of value to Fury. I know we just went through a lot, but I'm sure you'll be leaving this video with a much better understanding of why your combo did or did not work. It's very important to know all of these things, right? If you don't know the how or the why, you're just going to get frustrated. But with everything I taught you, you now understand why things work. Why did they flip out? And it is an alpha. There's still a lot that we don't know. But with what I've told you and taught you with my knowledge, you can at least get started and understand how things work. Thanks for watching as always. Remember, please like, sub, and comment. And I will catch you on the next one. Bye!